Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. This is the third and final video in our series talking about macronutrients, and today we're going to be finishing up with fats. So in the previous videos we talked about protein and how it's beneficial for your muscles in terms of recovery and if you're trying to grow and strengthen your muscles. And then we talked about carbohydrates and how carbohydrates are essential for fueling your body, very essential for your brain, as well as very essential for if you're trying to feel some intense workouts and keep yourself from hitting that wall in training. Carbohydrates are your man. So today we're going to be jumping right into fats. So fats are important for our everyday life. They are beneficial in long-term energy storage. They're a huge fuel component that we use to fuel our body because of that long-term energy storage. It's a very beneficial fuel source in terms of exercising at a low intensity or just not exercising at all and living in our daily lives. That is the fuel source that we reach to and we use on a daily basis. And lastly, fats are beneficial in promoting healthy cell function as well. So in the science world, fats are actually under the lipid umbrella, and you guys know the drill. I'm gonna go through some quick vocabulary and then we're gonna get into it. There are three different kinds of lipids. They are triglycerides, phospholipids, and sterols. The main takeaways that you and I need to take out of this though are that triglycerides are fats from animals and plant foods. Phospholipids are fats in lean meat, poultry, and most grains. And sterols are our cholesterol that are found in plants and animals. Within that, we categorize fats into subcategories. I like to think of them as healthy fats and less healthy fats. So our healthy fats are going to be our unsaturated fats. These unsaturated fats include our essential fatty acids, which they're called essential because we have to intake them through our diet. They include things like omega-3 and omega-6. You may have heard of these. They were kind of a health craze a couple years ago, but omega-3s and omega-6 are very vital for preventing heart diseases. These fats are very good for our heart and very good at reducing blood cholesterol levels. You may have seen, I am guilty of this, having taken fish oil, those huge ginormous pills. The reason why people take them is because they are full of omega-3s and they are very good for your heart and lowering your blood cholesterol levels. Now let's go into I dubbed them less healthy fats. And the reason I say this is because there's still debate to this day whether saturated fats leads to heart disease or not. Many medical journals have disproved that they lead to heart disease. However, the general consensus that everyone agrees on is that you and I should eat our saturated fats in moderation. Like everything else we do, we just need to keep a special eye on the saturated fats that are in our food because consuming them in excess can be harmful to our body in terms of heart disease. So I think that's just a general consensus of we need to eat our saturated fats and our trans fats, another saturated fat you guys may know, is not the best for us and we should eat it in moderation. Let's talk about how fats work in exercising, which is the main premise of this video because you and I know we've been looking at our macronutrients in terms of training and in terms of muscle gain and fat loss. So how do fats work in terms of training? As kind of teased in the previous carbohydrate video, whenever our body is inactive or we are participating in low intensity exercises, our body uses fats as energy. It isn't until we decide to take our exercises up a notch where we are breathing more heavily than we were previously, and it's getting a little bit more uncomfortable to talk, that we finally reach that ventilatory threshold or VT1 stage where we start to shift from using 100% fats as energy to just 50% fats and 50% carbohydrates as energy. So just to recap this, fats are very important for our energy when you and I are inactive. When we're doing everyday functions, we're sitting at our 9 to 5 working, we're talking, having a coffee with friends, we're using our fat as energy. And then even when we are going on our hot girl walks, can't believe I'm saying that. Even when we're going on our walks, we're walking our puppy, we are using fats as energy to do so. It isn't until we start taking it up to kind of a brisk walk, maybe a run maybe, that we are no longer using 100% fats. We're switching to that 50% fat, 50% carbohydrates. Another key reason that our body works in this way is because we can only metabolize fat as fuel if there's oxygen present. So the reason I'm talking about how much we're breathing and things like that is we need to have oxygen in order to use fat as fuel. If we have too high intensity exercise and we're not breathing enough and we're huffing and puffing, we're not using fat as fuel. So that's how you can kind of gauge it in your everyday workouts. I think it's just something cool to think about is while you're working out, think to yourself, am I using fats right now or carbohydrates? And I think it kind of links you to your food and helps develop a relationship there. That can be really cool to see how that energy is expended. That leads us into our next topic, the myth of the fat burning zone. So this is an exercise intensity way of thinking that is commonly misconceived, and it essentially means that because our body oxidizes fat and uses fat for low intensity workouts, then we should be doing mostly low intensity workouts to burn more fat. While it is true that our body does burn fat doing low intensity workouts, we kind of need to look at what we're doing in a 24-hour time period than just kind of what burns more fat very narrowly. So the way that we should think about it is when comparing high intensity carbohydrate fueled workouts with low intensity fat fueled workouts, one thing that we need to look at is if you and I only have an hour to work out, what is going to burn the most calories? And the answer is going to be your high intensity workouts. You are going to be working more intensely and you're going to be burning more calories because of that, even if you are relying on carbohydrates. Whereas if you went and walked for an hour, you would still burn fat 100%, but you would definitely burn less calories. And if we look at this fat burning zone in weight loss as it's intended to be looked at, then the average person will gain more benefits from doing high intensity exercises than focusing solely on low intensity exercises to target fat burn. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is true that low intensity exercises burn fat, but in terms of weight loss, it is way more beneficial if you only have an hour in your day, like most people sadly do only have an hour, then it's better for us to do those high intensity workouts if our goal is weight loss. With that being said, one thing to take into consideration about fats and weight loss is that fats are our most energy dense fuel source. And by energy dense, I also mean calorically dense. So I would caution us, if your goal is looking at weight loss, I would caution you to kind of track the calories in terms of fats because they may surprise you with how high the calories and fats may be. Not something to be scared of, just something to keep in mind. And lastly, talking about fats that we should be intaking, what is our recommended daily intake for fats? You guys could tell me the spiel right now. You know, only people you should be listening to, individual advice, certified dietitian, licensed nutritionist. Hey, good. With that being said, I will provide you a little bit of science here. The American Dietetic Association recommends that 30% of our calories every day come from fats. So with that, you guys, I will leave you right there. Thank you for watching this series. I hope you found it beneficial. I hope you learned something about macronutrients, how we fuel our bodies, and why each macronutrient source independently is very important and what purpose they serve. I think at the end of the day, it's very important to think about the benefits from each macronutrient, how they serve our bodies, and focus on eating them in a balanced, healthy, and holistic manner. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up so I know that you guys like these science-based videos. You know that I'm trying to bring more science into the conversation so we can combat diet culture. And don't forget to subscribe to join our beautiful community. I will see you guys every Wednesday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.